Dear students, welcome to the second part of the Chapter 1 Resources of 8th class Geography. In the first video, we discussed about what are resources, types of resources, and division of natural resources. In this video, we are going to discuss about human-made resources, human resources, conservation of resources, and principles of sustainable development. The first topic of today is human-made resources. As we know that sometimes natural substances become a resource only when their original form has been changed. Iron ore was not a resource until people learned to extract iron from the iron ore. People use natural resources to make buildings, bridges, roads, machinery, and vehicles. These resources are known as human-made resources. The resources which are made by human being from the natural substances are known as human-made resources. The next topic is human resources. People are known as human resource. Man has a potential to perform, to become great leader. Through his studies, through his training and his performance, he was joining or he was recruited, and later he became a great leader. All these skills or all these potentials are there inside the human being through the training, education, and with the development of technology, human himself become a resource which is known as human resources. We already said that people are human resources. It refers to the number as well as physical, mental abilities of human being. Through the improvement of the skills, people become more skillful, which is known as human resource development. Human resource development or population itself is a resource when it is contributing to the progress of our nation. Now to the conservation of the resources. Conservation means protection of resources or preservation of resources. It is the responsibility of all the citizens to preserve the resources or conserve that one for the future generations to come. Why should we conserve resources? It is an important doubt inside of us. Here we can see that, as we know that nature provides all the basic needs which are necessary to us. We are overexploiting or overusing these resources. If we go on overexploiting of the nature like what we are doing today, there will be no more resources available for the future generations to come. So there is an urgent need to conserve the resources, including water, to maintain ecological balance and for supporting life, to preserve the different types of biodiversity, to preserve the natural resources for the present and future generations. So it is our responsibility to conserve all these resources, otherwise it will not be there for the people who are coming or who are following us as next generation. Now, how to define conservation of natural resources? Using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. Balancing the need to use resources and giving them time to get renewed is called sustainable development. When we are formulating this budget, that time we are following this sustainable and mixed development. Here, the balancing the need of resources and giving them time to get renewed to come for the new next generation, that process is known as conservation of natural resources. I think you understand what is conservation. Conservation means preservation. Now next one is sustainable development. What is its important and what are its principles? The development that meets the needs of the present without compromising ability of future generation to meet their need. This policy is known as sustainable development. If we are not utilizing the resources carefully, that time it will be painful for the future generations. In this policy of sustainable development, we are preserving the resources for the future generations. It is very important to conserve the resources for the next generation. What are the needs for sustainable development? Why we need to follow sustainable development policy? First one, over exploitation of natural resources. 1 million species is on track for extinction. It is only one example. And like this, 60% of the world's marine fisheries is already declined. Now next one, climatic changes. Increase in atmospheric temperature and extreme weather events. Extinction threat to small island nations due to climatic change. In this way, this climatic change and over exploitation of resources, and next one is scarcity of resources. Food production needs to double over in the next 40 years at a time when almost 23% of the world's agricultural land has been degraded. Population is increasing and land is continuing in the same condition, and we are using for the house construction, we are making industries in the agricultural land, and with that one there is degradation of land also. Next one, nearly 2 by 3 of the world's population will be living water scarce, water stressed areas or scarcity of water. We are saying that if there is one war or third world war, if it is there, it will be for the availability of water. By 2025, 2 by 3 of the world population will live without water or water scarcity areas. So it is very important to follow this policy of sustainable development. Now, principles of sustainable development. When we are carrying all these things, we have to respect and care for all forms of life, improve the quality of human life, conserve the earth's vitality and diversity, minimize the depletion of natural resources, change personal attitude and practices towards the environment, enable communities to care for their own environment. In this way, we have to follow all these principles of sustainable development. Then only all these resources which we are using or we are getting will be there for the next generations to come. Now we are going to conclude the chapter. The future of our planet, or Earth is only one planet where life exists. The future of this earth, it is in our hand. So we should preserve it for future generation. We should conserve it. So it is our duty to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable, the diversity of life on the earth is conserved, the damage to natural environment system is minimized. the future of our country is in your hand, or you are the future citizens of our country. So we have to make sure that all these facilities which we are getting today will be there for the future generations also. If petroleum is ended and new oils are not discovered at that time, how can they run the vehicles? So we have to think all these things and use minimize the use of natural resources. For more videos and notes, you can use the study online school, and you can also contact me for the clearance of your doubt. I think you understand the chapter, and the notes of this chapter is there with this class. Thank you. Have a nice day.